Arsalan Umar, hi, I need to acquire about, I submitted an I-824 for my spouse. It's 1 year in USCIS Potomac Center. How can I expedite my case? You can request a humanitarian expedite because of severe economic, living conditions, or medical conditions. Doris, hey, Brad, my husband's children came in August. Their green card went somewhere else. They didn't get it. What can they do? File a new I-90 for all of them. Wendy, can someone on a visitor's visa get a work permit? How can it be done? I would need to have a consultation. We could figure it out. Kimberly, what forms do I fill out for a visit? I'm a U.S. citizen and want my mom to visit. She would fill out a non-immigrant visa application it's not you're filling out anything. It's your mom's filling out a non-immigrant visa application online, and she has to start the process from the country she's in. So you can't do it for her. Kimberly, if I change my status from visitor to student, can I travel outside the U.S.? You can, but you would need a new student visa to return, so you would have to go to the U.S. Embassy to get a new visa. Ingrid, what can I do to get my citizenship if my ex-husband divorced me right after I got my 10-year green card? Then you would have to wait 5 years from the time you got your conditional green card and file your citizenship without him. Tawan, how long does USCIS take to process an I-824? Over a year. John, hi, Brad. I have an N-400 interview coming up. I got my green card by employment. I went back to my home country after asylum denied. Should I withdraw my N-400? I don't think you should withdraw your N-400, but you better have a lot of questions about why it was safe to go back to your home country after all of a sudden you got your green card through employment. Just because you got your green card through employment doesn't mean all of a sudden your country becomes safe. But maybe you have a reasonable explanation. So I would need to know more. Kobe, hello, Brad. What documents can a U.S. citizen father prove for legitimation for his minor child for N-600 or passport application? Legitimation is generally father's name's on the birth certificate, and that's all that's needed. In most countries, there's no difference between legitimate and illegitimate children anymore. Hey, Brad, I want to invite my parents to my graduation through B1, B2, but I do not have a job yet, and they cannot afford. Is there any way I can bring them? You can invite them, but they need to be able to prove that they're coming and going. It's really on them, not on you. Joe Deanne, I'm a PR for 5 years. I have an I-130 at the National Visa Center for my 5-year-old daughter in Jamaica. It's DQ'd since 23. I haven't heard anything over a year. What do you suggest? Well, it depends what your priority date is, because the priority dates for F2As are back in 2019. So if your priority date's not current, you're not going to hear. So it has nothing to do with documentarily qualified. It has to do with when you filed the I-130 for your child. Sharo, a citizen parent, filed for a married daughter in January 2010. I-130 approved May of 2010. She's now DQ'd since July of 2023, but the older child, who was 23, was dropped from the filing. What options does she have? That child may be under the Child Status Protection Act, so I would certainly have an experienced lawyer like myself review, because I bet you that 23-year-old child's under the Child Status Protection Act and will be included on the case. JC, hi, Brad. I'm an undocumented in New York for 12 years, having 2 kids who are U.S. citizens. I married a U.S. citizen in 2018, and after that, he went to jail, and then I divorced him. So anyway, I can get my green card. If you divorced him in 2019, unfortunately, the time to have filed an abuse case, if there was abuse, was 2021. So there's no way you can get your green card through that marriage. You'd have to find a new way to do it. All right, last question in social media check-in. My biometric is done on the 29th of February, 2024, and my case was received on January 2024 by the National Benefit Center. How long will it take for an EAD? Probably get it by May or June.